Hi, I'm Debbie Gerbeck, and I help people in transition, whether it's transitioning from a job to another job, or whether they are moving, a transition and moving, any sort of transition. And also, I help them find their passions in life and how to pursue those. I'm going to be transparent with you today. I'm at a low. I'm at a low. I'm in the doldrums. I'm in a funk, whatever you want to call it. And the fact that there are so many terms for this state tells me that this is really, really common. Well, I don't like it. I don't like being in this state of mind because I'm not normally that way. And that's what I'm going to talk about today with you. I'm sure we've all experienced low places. Well, like I said, I don't enjoy being in that low place. So we're going to come up with some steps we can take to get out of that and into a better space in our mind. But before we get into that, please go to my homepage. Since you're on my website, go to my homepage, fill out the form, and I'll send you a free download, my pamphlet, How I Found My Inspiration and How You Can Find Yours in 3 Steps. And also, you found this video possibly on my Inspiration Station page. If you go back to that homepage, if you missed any of my videos, there are lots and lots of videos and also blog stories below on that page. So getting back to the topic at hand, feeling low, being in the doldrums, that sort of thing. It's strange to me because a few months ago, when I decided to go part-time with my full-time job, I was on a roll. I was on such a high. I was contacting people and emailing and talking and networking, and I was just really on this high until it was starting to dry up and I was on a low. So I am living this roller coaster of emotions. And right now I'm on a low. I'm on a low end. Sometimes when you're validated, that just brings you up again. But I'm trying to keep a hold on severe reactions, highs and lows. And what I meant by validated, like maybe somebody actually answers me and is interested in what I have to say and what I'm doing, because they may not have been as enthusiastic as I am about what I do. So what happens when you are in this low state is, guess what happens? I mention this almost every week. And in fact, I think I'm going to make this my next week's show because it's so huge. The gremlin, otherwise known as our inner critic, but you might know already that I call it a gremlin. So what happens when you're in this state? You're feeling really low. You feel really crappy about yourself. You're not doing anything. You feel lethargic. You don't feel motivated. It's just a really, really negative low space. And so your gremlin is at its peak. It is screaming at you. You don't know what you're doing. Who do you think you are, starting your own business? Other coaches are better than you. And like, who wants to watch your stupid videos anyway? Yeah, one of my favorites. So, why even get out of bed when you have those thoughts that are pounding in your head? That's no good. It's so negative. You don't need your gremlin screaming at you because you're already screaming at yourself. So, have any of you experienced this? I'm sure you've experienced lows, but starting a new business, they always said, I've heard from everybody, oh, it's really challenging, and I'm expecting that, but it's just really difficult. So how do we get out of this low state and reconnect with our inner strength that we know we have? We know it's there because it was that very strength that brought you to your highs. I mean, I don't want to call them highs and lows, but to your state where you are confident and things are just going. That's the state that I want to get back into. So I do have a few things, and in fact, I've started doing what I'm about to tell you, and in fact, they're making me feel better, and they're making me feel like I'm getting back to myself. So starting with self-acceptance. It is so okay for you to be in this low space. So you don't have to beat yourself up anymore about being in this low space. This is called practicing self-acceptance. And by doing that, you're allowing yourself the space to be in with no judgment. And in fact, it's helping you to step outside yourself and to help rebuild your self-esteem. So that was the number one thing that I did. It's like, okay, I know this is all part of this. I know that it's okay to do this. Also, know that this is a temporary state. I mean, as I've always talked about, life is just full of ups and downs. So when you're in this low state, you know that there's only up after this. So I'm looking forward to that, and I know it will happen. So while I'm accepting myself, I'm also positive that it's going to go up. And this is just temporary. So while you're in this temporary state and you're not blaming yourself or beating yourself up, why don't you do something good for yourself? Why don't just a little bit of something that boosts your morale? Like, I don't know, go shopping, get a massage, go see a movie, just something that makes you feel good about yourself, because that will also boost your self-esteem and get out of your head and into something positive. And the last thing is, when you're in these low spaces, this is the time that you're going to be learning a lot about yourself and your surroundings, because during this low space, you're finding out a lot about yourself. You're doing a lot of internal work, and you're self-reflective. And so I suggest that during this time of learning, you write down these thoughts, because they might be keys to help you when you are in an up state as well. So those are the things that I've started to do, and in fact, I do feel better. So I hope that you can embrace these things too, and I really, really hope that if you are in a low space now, that these will help you to just get a little bit more up, and especially stop those gremlins from beating you up, because that's no good. So if you're in a low space and you need help with getting out of this space, I would love to help you. Go to the Work With Me page on my website and fill out the form, and I'll get back in touch with you, and we'll see how we can work together. Thank you so much for showing up, and I'll see you next week.